Excavations at that site have verified this claim. Aryabhata the Elder, 476-550 AD, gave a summary of Vedic mathematics that covers astronomy, spherical trigonometry, arithmetic, and algebra and plane trigonometry. His work Aryabhata contains quadratic equations and table of signs, and pi as 3.1416. He also wrote the Siddhanta dealing with rotation of the Earth and planets. He proposed that the orbits of the planets are ellipses 1,000 years before Copernicus and Kepler. The basics for modern medicine and plastic surgery. Many items have been found in the Indus Valley excavations showing surgical tools. These tools were consistent with the tools mentioned in the Shalaka Samhita and the Kasyapa Samhita that make up the Arya Veda, written before 600 BC. They clearly show a highly developed knowledge of surgery and medicine. Many drugs have come from the Arya Veda, i.e. the herb Rauwolfia serpentina was converted to a drug used in Western medicine use as an antihypertensive and antipsychotic. Modern plastic surgery also found its beginnings in the Arya Veda. Around 44 BC, Empedocles devised a medical system in Greece based on the Ayurvedic system of India. His book on purification defines health clearly developed from the Sharaka Samhita, which was later talked about by Plato. It was the Srimad Bhagavatam, dated greater than 800 BC, that indicated that the atom is the basic building block of nature 2,700 years before John Dalton developed an atomic theory. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.11.1, the material manifestation's ultimate particle, which is indivisible and not formed into a body, is called the Paramana atom. It exists always as an invisible identity, even after the dissolution of all forms. The material body is but a combination of such Paramana atoms, but it is misunderstood by the common man. The modern theory that atomic time and space are relative is not so new, as this was described in the Paramanu Veda of Kannada, dated 300 BC by modern science. Also see Lost Discoveries: The Ancient Roots of Modern Science, by Tercy, Dick. And understanding global ecology is not new. We currently have developed a newer understanding of our environment. We have understood how we have been detrimental to nature, and possibly have interfered or counteracted with systems meant for our benefit. Example: the oceans regulate the CO2, maintain the atmospheric temperature, and supply water in the form of clouds. By our overproduction of CO2, we have overwhelmed the regulating capacity of the oceans and forests, leading to global warming. Thus our understanding of a global ecology. This new global ecology is actually not new. It has been well known in the Vedas for several centuries. See Bhagavad Gita 3.11, the demigods, being pleased by sacrifices, will also please you, and thus, by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. The Vedas claim that there is a relationship and duties for both the living entities on Earth and the personalities who are responsible for the cosmic phenomena. We have been ignoring our duties, and that leads to shortages of natural resources. Our incomplete knowledge of the cosmic order is the case of perturbation in our ecology, and not global warming. How is it considered advancement after you've come back to your starting point? Most of the so-called advances of the Industrial Revolution are now being called detrimental to ecology. Yet in the beginning science laughed at people living close to our environment, and simply, they were called primitives. Now science is being forced by environmental disasters to re-look at what we call advancement. The use of petroleum, although it was a great discovery, now is plaguing our economy, is a source of global warming. and yet an unknown effect, except in the Vedas, has affected the orbit of the planet by distributing the weight within the core, as it did in the past with Hiranyaksha. The discovery of some food dyes and many chemicals has now been found to cause cancer. The use of various substances, i.e. electromechanical waves, may be the cause of cancer pockets throughout the United States. Our growing dependence on electricity has led to huge demand for generators and nuclear energy. Nuclear power is very dangerous and has drastically altered an entire city following an accident, i.e. the Chernobyl nuclear power plant disaster in Ukraine, then part of the Soviet Union. The discovery of the internal combustion motor has led to gases that poison us and affect our global ecosystem. The examples are numerous, and there is a growing concern to move back to green or back to nature, like the so-called primitives mentioned above. The Vedas propose simple living, high thinking. Let's advance our knowledge. There is intelligence behind acts of nature. What we call the act of nature and act of the demigod are the same thing. Demigods are known to be the intelligence behind the cosmos. They are given names in this Manvantara, or millennium. In Srimad Bhagavatam 8.13, for it is said, O king, the Adityas, the Vyasus, the Rudras, the Vibhadivas, the Maruts, the two Asvini Kumaral brothers, and the Rus are the demigods. Their overseer, Indra, is Purandara. These are divided as follows. The Yajurveda 7.19, which says there are 11 demigods in the heavens, 11 demigods in atmosphere, and 11 demigods in earth. Considering their descendants, there are many million demigods. One may ask if the demigods are the personalities that control the cosmic phenomena, then who controls them? That his answer is confirmed that one entity is the source of all things to them. Among all the eternally conscious beings there is one supreme eternal living being, who is supplying the needs of all the innumerable others. Katha Upanishad 2.1.12. Further knowledge of the demigods. A few examples. The demigods are empowered administrators of material affairs. The supply of air, light, water and all other benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of every living entity is entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The demigods are authorized supplying agents on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. It is a fact that the demigods control the different activities of the limbs of our bodies. Factually, we are not free even in moving our eyelids. Everything is controlled by them. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.9.32 purport. The demigods of the elements. Varuna, the lord of the seas and waters. Varuna is the demigod behind all large bodies of salt water. He is usually represented as a fair-complexioned man riding a monster fish called Makara, which has the head and legs of an antelope. He carries a noose. He is the one responsible for the various chemistries and oceanic ecosystems known and unknown to man. Vayu, the lord of the wind and air. Vayu is the demigod of wind and is represented as a fair-complexioned man riding a deer and carrying a white flag. He is said to have begotten the son, Hanuman, from Anjani, in the Ramayana. Mahabharata mentions, Bhima also is said to be the son of Vayu. Vayu is the one responsible for the various atmospheric gases like the ozone that protects us against cosmic radiation, and atmospheric ecosystems known and unknown to man.